From the creator of Star Wars. From the director of Cocoon. A world is awakening.
Why, with the strength of my great army, can you not find one little child?
It's a dangerous world. That's why we need your help.
Your journey has just begun.
Willow.
Hello and welcome to this What Do You Want to Watch Spoilercast for the 1988 Ron Howard film, Willow. I'm your host, Ashley Hobley. Joining me today, Dylan Blight.
Happy to be here to talk about, I don't have a joke, Willow. Val Kilmer, there we go, being crazy.
Oh, that's something. All right, straight off the top, neither of us have watched this movie before, which is crazy.
No. It's not crazy for you, but it's crazy for me.
Yeah, it's crazy that both of us haven't watched something.
Yeah.
So, look forward to hearing our thoughts. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this one. So please be aware we'll be freely discussing anything and everything about the plot themes in any of the movie. So if you haven't watched it, like we just hadn't, come back later. With that said, let's jump to a discussion of Willow, directed by Ron Howard, screenplay by Bob Dolman, story by George Lucas, starring Warwick Davis, Val Kilmer, Joanne Whalley, Gene Marsh, and Billy Barty. Willow, a farmer, is entrusted with the task of delivering Allura, a princess who was destined to defeat the evil Queen Bavmorda, to the humans to keep her safe. However, he faces a lot of obstacles. Dylan, what do you think of Willow?
I feel like some of this movie obviously has aged, and sort of you try and give it a pass for some of the special effects and stuff like that. But overall, I enjoyed it for what it was.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of cool ideas and characters and whatever else, and a world and everything, and you can tell it's aimed at kids.
Mm-hmm.
I guess is the thing. So not only are you watching an aged film, but it's also one that was aimed at kids. So there's all these sorts of things going, and because we haven't watched it, there's no sense of nostalgia coming into this at all. It's just we're watching this late 80s movie that was supposed to spawn a whole new franchise from the creator of Star Wars. This world story created by George Lucas.
You think that's what it was?
Yeah. It's well known that it was supposed to spawn a whole new thing, but it didn't do well enough. That's the it was meant to take off. It didn't. So
I mean, it made $137 million off a $35 million budget. So you would think that's pretty good. Nowadays, you make 6-7 movies from that, right?
Yeah, I know it wasn't considered well, maybe it was the critical part. All I know is that any plans for a sequel were scrapped, and George Lucas had ideas for the other ones, so or how the world would continue. So I don't know if any of those are being used in the TV series, of which we're the reason behind where the Disney Plus original series, the reason we're watching this today. But yeah, overall, I felt I really liked Val Kilmer in it. Mad Mardigan, or however you say his name.
Yep.
I thought he was just having a blast, and you can tell, and sort of makes that character a lot of fun. Warwick Davis, Willow, I feel is really charming. I feel considering he's a kid in this, playing someone who has kids, that's the funniest thing. This is a couple years after
Star
Wars, of which he was a kid on, and I think he's 16, 17, 18, something. He's not super
18
old
at this point. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So the fact he's got two kids who are I don't know, it's just funny. But yeah, I feel he's really charming. I feel I quite enjoy his presence, and he's easily likable hero to lead you through the film, which is the whole idea, of course. Saoirse, the character, the girl. So this is my biggest gripe with this movie. Her sudden turn to being good, I was
it's out of nowhere.
Fuck did that come from? They literally have one scene where she's watching Mad Mardigan go crazy, and as far as I'm concerned, the reason she suddenly switched sides is because she went, "That guy's pretty good with a sword." Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. The Queen, the witch, whatever she was. Very, again, like sort of like almost Wicked Witch of the East, bro. You know, that sort of level of villain.
Yeah.
But it was fine. It served its purpose. Yeah, look, yeah, overall, I like trying to put my sort of lens of didn't come out this year sort of stuff on it. I feel like there's a lot of cool ideas and stuff in here, and I'm glad I've watched it because I watched the trailer for the Disney Plus series and I go, this looks really cool, but I've never actually seen Willow. So
Yes.
Even if we weren't doing this podcast, and let's say I wasn't doing Explosion Network or anything like that, I feel like I still would have watched that trailer for the Willow Disney Plus series and went, this looks really cool, like this world I know nothing about, and I still would have come back and watched this, and I feel like I still would have felt the same, which is, this movie wasn't as cool as the trailer for this new series is. It looks, which was made 30 years later. Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, there's all these reasons why. But I'm glad I went back and watched it, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm just okay. I think it's an okay movie. You know, I think it's just very weird and like characters going in different directions randomly all the time. You know, even Mad Mardigan. You know, 1 second is like, I don't know, his motivations seem to shift very quickly, but that is kind of his character as well. So I can, mostly the characters around like Saoirse and like the Queen and the other sorceress that, you know, he keeps turning into different animals.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. There's a lot of fun hijinks. I think much in the way that when we watched Hocus Pocus like a couple of months ago, we went, oh, this is a movie that, you know, if we had watched when it came out, you know, or when we were younger,
I feel like
we'd
if
have
I'd
more
watched this when I was a
nostalgia
kid,
and feeling. We would have appreciated like it more. You'd overlook
I would have
all the
loved
faults.
this as a kid. Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, it's kind of weird that, you know, he starts off like very happy to throw this baby back down the river.
Yeah.
You know, and then ends up why this baby chooses him of all of them to, you know, protect her. Why didn't they just give him to Mad Mardigan at the first place? Like, you know, why they stick around and wait for a bunch of troops to walk past?
They're waiting for
They
a
would
better
have
option.
saved a bunch of time.
And literally, no, they do not get a
They
better
do
option.
not get a better option. Just randomness, like these little creatures just steal the baby out of nowhere. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff that happens throughout this movie. But then, you know, there's some cool fight sequences. Val Kilmer's like having the time of his life, I feel like. Just swinging the sword recklessly. It's flipping stuff when he doesn't really do be flipping stuff. Just doing all sorts of fancy shit.
I loved his whole sequence at the end, in that castle, like just setting up Home Alone-esque traps and whatever else.
I mean, some of the monsters and stuff looked pretty solid. Like that giant Hydra thing at the end.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is, but yeah, sure.
And the weird freaking trolls that, you know, little Willow hates.
The only things that don't look great are the fairy things or whatever that they are, which are just obviously green screened people placed upon other footage. Like it is literally the special effect, which I'm sure in 1988 was a big thing, is something that I could do in my room on my laptop. You know, that's how far technology has come.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, and I could make it look better than how it's done in this with everything I have in my room right now. That's how far technology's come. So they're the only thing that's to me out of everything. There's like a level of charm with some of the monsters and whatever else, but yeah, it's just the dodgy green screen effect on some of them at times that to me, and look, it's nothing against, like it's fine again. It's just the age and everything, but yeah, there are the times I'd be watching. I'm like, man, I think I could do this better on my phone. Like I know. Like,
yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I mean, there's some solid stuff that, like, the turning everybody into pigs, like some of the transformation stuff, that looks pretty good. Like, obviously, some of that's, like, practical and, like, masks and prosthetics and that kind of stuff, so that's going to age reasonably well. But, yeah. I mean, it's a fine movie. I'm very keen for the TV series, so I'm glad that I went back and watched the film, but from what I've seen of the series, it seems like it's like take a massive drastic step forward in the story.
Yeah, well, it's like it's literally 30 years later or whatever. Like, they're not pretending it's just been a couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got a whole bunch of new characters. But I was looking over the cast the other day and I realized that Joanne Whalley or whatever, Saoirse's returning. So
yeah, she plays the woman who talks to... Well, I've rewatched the trailer right before this.
Okay, I have to. I should. I haven't actually done that.
Yeah, so she's probably pretty prominent. Interesting, from what I can gather of looking like over the cast list, there's no one playing Allura.
That we know of.
That we know of.
I'm 100% assuming that she's in. That there's a character that's in this.
Yeah. But is she one of the kids that he's traveling with, or it's going to be somebody new? It's like... Because it's that weird age thing. I guess she would be 30 now. So
should be like, 30.
So she'd be older. But one of the kids is... One of the young people is meant to play Shura's child. So...
Okay. Yeah, I'm putting my money that character is in it. Because it would be really weird to make a follow-up to that without including that character, which is, it's prophesized child and all this sort of stuff. But
yep, absolutely. My other gripe is, they kill the queen at the end. And the kid didn't have any involvement in it, really. This whole prophecy they've been building up this entire time, she just does random lightning from the sky.
I mean, but it was caused by the child.
I mean, the child was there, so technically, I guess.
Cause and effect, If they hadn't have all been trying to save the child, they wouldn't have been there to cause the queen to die.
Yeah. So I know, how messed up were those dogs, right? Like, at the start of the
film?
film?
How messed up is it? They're literally just putting costumes over these fucking dogs or whatever and just having them run wild. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, are the dogs okay? I'm more worried about the dogs, like in the silicone costumes or whatever they wear.
I'm sure they're fine. Do you get weirded out when, like, people, like, dye the dogs different colors and stuff? Are you one of those people?
I mean, I do find it odd. I don't feel like it's, like, bad for the
when they, like, make them look like a Growlithe or something?
It is weird, but, like, I'm not like, don't do it. I'm just like, it's weird. But this is a bit different. If they had them, like, in a full, like, costume over the dog's head and everything, I'm like...
Yeah. We're assuming it's dogs, It could have been something else. It could have been... Gynosaur.
Fucking rat? What the fuck? It was a dog. It was definitely a dog.
Alright. Anything else you want to talk about from Willow?
Yeah, I know. I thought there was like some funny scenes in this, especially with those little fairy critters and whatever else. It was a slight fun. I laughed at least a few times, I feel.
Yeah.
So it had that going for it.
The brownie duo.
Yeah, them. Also, the music was good, I felt.
Music was good. Yeah. Some solid fight sequences. The old dude with the skull mask, he went down finally.
Yeah.
He's being stabbed like 6-7 times.
Yeah.
I thought for sure, that one of the most terribly aged things in the whole movie is when Willow's fighting this table thing that's come to life. That didn't look good at the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And he knocks it out the tower, and I'm like, he's knocked it down the tower. That's going to have some sort of effect.
No.
It's got, never see it again.
I really liked, now I'm thinking about it, I really liked how all the elements sort of came together. Like, the whole, his little disappearing trick at the start of the movie, which you think is just, it is both this character piece, you get to see him trying to do magic, but it's just like normal magic, like fake magic. And I like how that linked around to him actually being, he technically uses magic. He uses magic to stop the villain, although it's not the magic he wants to be able to use. It is still a magic trick.
It even does like the full acorn thing. It doesn't work, but it comes close.
Yeah.
Very much out of nowhere, but
very little interesting watching this series now. Like, because obviously I never watched this before. I assumed that he would have,
like learned actual magic by the end of the movie.
Yeah, I assumed he would have actually learnt magic, but so then I have to rewatch the trailer. But in the trailer, it's very much like he's a full-on wizard,
sorcerer. Yeah,
full-on sorcerer. Yeah.
Yeah. So very keen for the series. We'll be talking about it probably on What Do You Want to Watch. So look forward to that. Any last things you want to talk about? Or we've covered it? All right. Let us know what you think of Willow and what are you expecting from the TV series Willow by going to explosionnetwork.com/Twitter or jump to Discord at explosion.com/Discord. If you want to help us out, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Tell people about the show. Leave us 5 stars anywhere you can leave 5 stars. And if you like this episode, thought it was worth $1, head over to our Ko-fi page at explosion.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.
The next great adventure.
You are great.
Willow